Welcome into the Recipe Podcast, Celebrity Secrets to a Successful Life. I'm your host, Chef Charles Carroll. What a great day, what a great show we have for you today. This is the Unplugged edition of the Recipe Podcast, and man, I think this is the fullest house we've ever had. Is that right, guys? It's pretty full, right?
Looks it.
Yeah.
It would seem like it.
You guys are...
It's hot.
You guys are... well, you got a jacket on, Bobbit. Look at Bobbit all Southern belled out, huh? Look at... Do you guys think?
I lent that to her.
Yeah,
I've had this jacket since 3rd grade.
That's a cute jacket. Christian.
So so we got a full house today. We got Phil Phoenix, podcast
Summer
editor
chic.
and sound engineer. Phil Phoenix, say hey.
Hey, what's up?
And the Bobbit, our podcast producer, and makes all the things happen and gets the show out there. Say
What's
hey.
up?
The Bobbit. So we're gonna get into what you're doing here later on today, there, Bobbit. Then we have the Venus flytrap.
Good morning.
Yeah, how you doing, bro? You
Good.
Good. You're all awake and ready to go.
Man, I'm looking at you.
Yeah. I like
I'm looking
that.
right at you, man.
I appreciate that.
I'm looking at you.
And we got Jay back there pushing all the buttons and helping us. And he, for some reason, somehow he gets all this on the air. So we appreciate that. Man, we have a live show today with some very dear friends in studio. We have the Incredible Borris. The Incredible Borris. Yeah, man. How you doing? You doing all right?
I'm doing fantastic. It's
It's
always good to be with you.
Yeah, the Incredible Borris from Chinook, from the Canada. Yeah, from up there where.
Toronto, Canada, and hopefully, if you're watching in Canada, you're enjoying the snow.
Is that right? They're getting snow already?
Well, right about now, it's when it's coming, and when I get to Houston, it's absolutely gorgeous with sunshine, and you guys wearing shorts and T-shirts. So yeah, I get it.
Actually, it was a little brisk this morning.
Right, a little brisk. I'm sorry, you might have had to put a sweatshirt on.
Yeah. That's all
A
good.
hoodie if it's way too cold.
So the Incredible Borris is a very famous hypnotist, and he's in town doing a bunch of shows. And one of the most amazing shows I've ever seen. There's several of them, but anyway, we'll get into that. And then also we have Richard Hoggett. Richard, say hey.
Good to see you, Charles.
Yeah, Richard Hoggett. So this is like a family reunion for all of us. So actually, some of you at the table may or may not know this, but Boris and I and Richard did Afghanistan twice. The Operation Hot, honoring our troops, and Richard was the AV genius that somehow made shit happen in Afghanistan in the middle of the desert, 120 degrees.
120 degrees on my Mac.
Yeah, so
Which probably was overheating in the...
We had water bottles that were frozen with ice to keep the computers from shutting down during the show. It was barrels of fun.
Yeah, so we did that. We did Afghanistan twice, and Boris does this amazing show. Is a guy just like ridiculously crazy talented, or how he does all that?
There's one and only, and Boris is in his own field, we'll just
You're
say.
making me blush.
He's
This is a
invented it,
podcast,
created it, and
they
owns
can't
it.
see it.
Yeah. So that's why. So just so you know, that's why all these guys are here.
Good to see you.
So Christian, what do you think about getting hypnotized? What do you think about?
Probably it's not going to work out.
No, yeah, Christian's got like we talked about this last show. He's got like 5,000 things in his head. So he's a very very complicated brain.
Well, we all do.
Yeah.
I simply get you to focus on one thing.
Yeah.
The rest becomes history.
Yeah, see that? But all right, so we're going to get into all that in a little bit. But Bob, tell it, why are you all text us out today? Look at you. You got the boots. You text the boots on.
I'm going to go to the Catfish Festival.
Catfish.
It's like, I live in a smaller town, and so all of us kind of, like, it's a once a year, it's like one weekend. There's like bands, carnival food, whatever.
Let me interrupt
like
you for 1 second.
Yeah.
Catfish, for all those people that are looking, is not what I thought. Actually, said it first. It's people who got catfished on the internet.
Yeah.
They all get a chance to meet with their...
It's like a little carnival, basically.
Tell
Just
us
like a
more about
small
it.
town carnival. There's like a little Miss Catfish too, and I think it's cute.
Were you ever miss Catfish?
No.
Come on, Bob.
I haven't even been there that long.
No.
No.
You just go there for the alcohol.
Yeah, that's what I do.
You guys got that out of her, right? Yeah. She's a yeah.
I don't even know. Well, I guess it's there.
Yeah.
I don't know. I just never
It's
looked
a festival.
for
It better be there.
Mm-hmm.
So Christian, is this catfish thing on your radar? Because you're right into the
No,
scene. And
absolutely not.
How's
I
that
did not know.
No, Phil.
It was happening.
Catfishing?
No.
No.
May I go fishing?
Maybe we should all go. Let's all go. It's going on tomorrow too, right? Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I don't have the right gear.
But you gave her that jacket.
That's why I'm out of it. I'm out of that business.
Yeah. All right. Well.
No more summer chic.
So we're getting into the Incredible Borris. You're in town here, and tell us what you're doing. Tell us what's going on.
Well, yeah, I'm here for the big conference of different college bookers and college venues that are coming in to take a look and performing for them. But while in town, I had to come and visit.
Yeah. I appreciate that very much. So take us through this hypnosis thing. Now, I've seen a bunch of shows. I've seen them in Afghanistan. I actually at the club as well. And you had at the time like 20, right, Richard, like 20 military guys up on stage.
Yeah, he starts with a large number and he kind of pares it down, I think, as,
Right,
as
I think
it
the
goes.
best people out of the bunch. It's that simple. The show's only so long, so there's so many people that you get out of the group. I always said my job is to entertain and not to convince. So I pick a bunch of people and then the rest gets sent back. The actual hypnosis part is about 5 minutes. The rest is comedy. I'm a goofball that found his college.
What are you looking for in people?
I look for the ability to concentrate instantly and being able to visualize what I'm creating. Because, well, my background is computers and psychology. So think of your mind as a computer that literally creates whatever you are, a collection of all of the different situations that you came to to this point. So all I do is tap into that, and then I change your reality. You don't change, but you react to the reality that I create. It's a little bit of an intangible concept, but just imagine you daydream all the time. So you slip in and out of hypnosis about 14 times a day. So that's the facts.
I think Phil's slipping right now. Look, Phil, you there?
Right, exactly.
No, I'm looking at these shitty fucking levels from the laugh mics.
Oh, is that right?
Yeah.
And all I do, I come up with this story that is being told visually, and making sure that everybody gets a chance to see it. The story is interwoven throughout the whole performance.
So how are people okay with it? How are people that they fall into that thing? Because I talked to some of the people that have been hypnotized
After the fact,
right after the show, and they tell me that I'm conscious. I know what's going on. I know what he's saying, and I know what he's doing to me, but for some reason I'm totally okay with it.
Right. The best way to describe it, I know what's going on, but I don't know why I'm doing these things. In the back of their mind, I can stop any time, but as soon as a certain keyword comes up, then they do whatever they're meant to. And you experience this all the time. You watch commercials, they relate something specific to you, then you walk into a store and you say, I'd like one of whatever that might be.
So you never meet with the people beforehand?
No, it's never prepared. It's never, well, for television, yes, I do. A lot of times when you see me on TV, it's prepared just because TV is such a fast medium, so I pre-hypnotize people and do the actual routines on the air. But most times, no, in a live show, there's never any prep.
How did you know you can do it?
I didn't. I learned how to hypnotize. I just came up with a show that's sort of sellable and people are actually enjoying it from the other side. And like I said, I'm a troublemaker that found my calling to the point where I create. And I create live and on stage. And sometimes the people on stage take me in different directions that I intended the show in the first place. So a lot of times it literally is, I have a skeleton of what I'm going to do, and that skeleton goes in a completely different direction.
Has it ever gone wrong where it's like...
Every time I do it.
No, but like really wrong where they're like...
No, nothing ever goes wrong. I'm always concerned with the safety of the people, with what they do, how they do it. A lot of times I create something that you in the audience... See, I'm trying to set something up that after you see my show, you have more questions that before that you came in. So there's a lot, how did he do that and why did he do that? And what's the point and how did this happen? But in my mind, anything can be related. Just like if you're not watching this podcast, you are creating a vision of me, what I would look like. Then you see me, and then it's a completely different type of a person than what you had visualized. Same sort of thing that will happen on stage. Because normally I try not to tell people what I do on an airplane, because, oh, you do hypnosis. That's an interesting subject. Yeah. At 6 in the morning, it's not always that interesting when you take the early
It's
flight.
the same thing for me when I used to travel for the Olympic team. I had my book out and all the drawings and all the stuff. And it's, oh, you're a chef. And I said, no. That was my answer. No, I don't want to talk about it. I don't want to hear about your grandmother's recipe. I don't want to,
So you told them you were an Olympian then?
No, I did tell them. I just say no, and then they get the idea that I don't want to talk about it. And so because I have to listen to all their stories about.
Right. Well, same with comedy as well. People want to tell you, well, you can use this little joke in your show, right? Which is okay, but the whole thing is. The comedians write their stuff. Same with you. Your recipes are your own little baby. It's not something they always divulge.
Well, speaking of commercials, I have to do a real quick shout out to some of our sponsors. Real quick, we're very happy to have Dunkin' Coffee on our side. We're all enjoying some of that great Dunkin' Coffee this morning. Escoffier School of Culinary Arts. I just met with those guys last weekend. An amazing culinary school. They have 2 properties in the U.S. and also a very flexible online program where you can actually get a degree online, which is pretty cool. The American Culinary Federation, which I grew up in the American Culinary Federation for the last 30 years, amazing organization all over the United States. If you're not a member, you should be. I don't know why you wouldn't be. And they have some amazing conferences 3 times a year, some great website, and also some great speakers and authors and everything else. So make sure you become a member of the American Culinary Federation. We have the Texas Beef Council, and we love them because they love chefs, and they do everything they can to help chefs. So the Texas Beef Council are pretty cool. And also Aceway Incorporated. They are an amazing cleaning company that will clean anything that you want them to clean, whether it's an office building or a kitchen. So we love all our sponsors because they trust us to put this show on. And they happen to be very, very, very good at what they do. So that's all cool. So Boris, you guys, just so you guys have an idea, it blew me away that we were in Afghanistan, and the first stage that we had was had 2 levels on it. I don't know if you remember that, Richard.
Oh, I do.
Yeah, there was one level, then there was like a 6-inch step down, and there was another level, and then it was big round and how you kept 20 people, it's hard enough to keep them on the stage, but to keep them from falling down that one step, and you get them all moving
20
and everything.
people with guns, too, we might add, right?
The guns and not more than one. Exactly. They all had each one. We had to rack their weapons before they came up, but they're still carrying things, so making sure they're all proper. And that was a lot of fun. But we made a lot of friends.
But talk about that though. How do are the people conscious enough to keep themselves out of danger? Or
absolutely. Like I said, you always know where you are. I just create a situation that you know is still a little bit out of the realm, but you're not going to go any more than what you're personally comfortable with. So. Hypnotists usually say that you won't do anything outside of your morals or whatever that is, but it can be walked around, tiptoed, and.
So through now your business has kind of evolved. I mean, because you started out doing this and you went to a couple shows and they didn't go so well. I think the very first or second one.
So you know the stories. Yeah, one of my first big shows, I failed miserably. It was a talent show, and they actually auditioned people beforehand, and I came, showed them what I can do. Everything was nice and wonderful, but mind you, this was a long time ago.
Was that a Star Search?
It was something like a Star Search. It was one of the university things. I was 16 at the time.
Wow.
And what happened was anything happens in show business unexpected, and I learned how to expect it at this point. But halfway through, just like what I did, I decided to pre-hypnotize people. They gave me so much time on the air, on the stage, and I said, okay, I'll do this. As I'm starting to just hypnotize, I haven't even started yet, they knock on the little green room door saying, you're on, they're announcing you. All right, I heard that phrase somewhere in the back of my mind, the show must go on. The show was going on, but without me, unfortunately, I wasn't able to hypnotize anybody at that point in time. Which was not fun. And red-faced, I finished my part of the presentation saying, I hope you get a chance to see me somewhere else, but tonight is not the night. Well, also, unfortunately, that was the day that that was my big debut big presentation. I invited my parents, my friends, and everybody else, and that was the outcome. So you learn over the years to deal with what's at hand, and the more shows you do, the easier it becomes to see what could be coming, and just like anything in show business will go wrong. The mic goes out, I had stuff like the power going out and trying to control about 400 people in the dark, but anything will happen. So if you're not freaked out, you deal with it as if it's supposed to happen and move on. And people can see it and actually enjoy the ability for at least me to handle it. I find it exciting to see, okay, what's going to happen today.
If you had to generalize, what's the hardest type of person?
There's no such thing.
No such thing.
Everybody's susceptible. All I really do is, one, get you comfortable with me, just because it's all a trust issue. If you don't trust me, then you might not as well try it in the first place. On the other hand, I'm a comedian. My job is to say, to make the moment funny. Sometimes it's not, and
it's funny in itself.
People are funny naturally. I just bring it out. So I end up playing a lot of times that straight guy in a funny team, which they come out of the woodwork, and I'm able to bring that out. And I think people are amazing. My job is to make them excited.
He does this one show, this one gig. Christian, you weren't in the house when we had him at the club? We did it on the employees?
I think I was there, but I was probably working.
So he does it, he does this one gig with and he has this one guy, and let's say a guy's name is Chip,
right?
But he calls him Chuck, and he said, okay, now sleep. And he says, okay, so every time I call you Chuck, and call you by the
or
wrong,
anything else, exactly. I screw up the name, and it's a natural thing that we all do. You get introduced to somebody, and
he's always a big guy or something like
that.
He's
the biggest guy on the whole damn thing. And so every time I get your name wrong, you're gonna get more and more and more upset. And every time, and he does it like 5 or 6 times. And finally, this guy stands up and he's ready to take a swing at him. He says, "Okay, sleep." He says,
"All right," and then I build on that fact as well, because I get people to hallucinate, and that's the most exciting part about it. They see stuff that's not even there. So at some point in time, I'll bring a bird out on somebody's shoulder, and the bird all of a sudden knows how to talk. So the bird will keep calling the guy Chuck as well. All right, so they're screaming at something that's not even there, trying to correct the bird while I'm going. So it becomes an issue where all of them are going one and the other than me, and then the people on stage will get into it. Well, Chuck said this. No, he didn't. Wait a second.
And then he'll have people count, and they can't say the number 6. Like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and they can't say it. They can't. They go right to 7.
Right. So the routines, exactly. I don't know if you've seen this one, just because the show constantly involves. I keep writing. I keep sort of amusing myself or anybody else. But then if they can't say the number 6, I'll put them on a talk show. And the talk show would be Who Wants to Be a Millionaire? What's your question? Well, it's 3 plus 3. Right. So there's stupidity and silliness and fun, because what's 3 plus 3? I'd like to say
With all this, we have a kind of an ongoing thing about flying. We have a lot of flying stories. You fly all over the world, all over the country, and all over everywhere. You fly all the time. You have any crazy flying stories?
Well.
What's the scariest? I had one of my top 3 miserable flights last weekend. But what's your
really
scariest?
I'd love to fly. I think it's one of the great. Somebody else is doing the driving.
Yeah, well.
Right, but yes, I had a few. Actually, Minneapolis was one. I fell asleep on a flight, and I wake up. The flight landed. I'm getting out. I'm back in Minneapolis. What's wrong with that? They had a problem in the air, so they turned right around.
Well, I guess that's at least to get you back on the ground.
I fell asleep, and I did not know. Everybody's exiting the plane.
That's crazy.
No problem. I'm exiting the plane. This does not look right.
Yeah.
So the confusion that was at that point. Other than that, no, I really enjoy flying because I take normally the first flight out. Well, the one flight that I'll bring that up in a second. But when we went to Afghanistan the first time, I did not make the trip.
Right.
What happened? I was flying out of Toronto to meet the team in Washington, and from Washington we were going to go to Afghanistan. Well, Kuwait and then Afghanistan. What happened is the flight that was supposed to pick me up from Toronto did not make it in because of weather patterns, and I wasn't the only one. Zito as well didn't make it on. So we're going back and forth on the phone. Of course, my phone is running out of power at the time, so I'm sitting there plugged into the wall trying to fix stuff, and did not make to Washington, so they left without me. But they gave me 2 phone numbers. When you arrive in Kuwait, you could either make it to Kandahar, to somewhere.
Yeah, I know that they sent a special plane for you guys to pick you up, and
and they put us on the
C-130
plane where the kids were being deployed at that point in time. So we were a couple civilians trying to get on the plane with the kids getting deployed.
That would have been a good time to hypnotize some people.
It was interesting.
We're going to the Catfish Festival.
Yeah, I think after this show we'll try to see if we can hypnotize a couple of guys, and we'll film it in case it works.
Why don't we just hypnotize you?
Well, I think there'll be a lot to hear. I mean, there'll be a lot of dead space to hear.
It takes a little while. It's
so
not a 2-second thing. It's about 5 to 10 minutes.
We can film it after maybe, and
Does anybody ever hypnotize you?
Yes, actually, earlier on, before all of the other guys knew who I was, I would jump on stage to see what it's like, and that's actually the main reason why I'm kind and always watch for safety, just because from what I've seen other guys do and which way the shows went, I tried to create an experience of a theater rather than a bar. So a lot of times, even the material, the way it's written, is always more highbrow than I want you to think rather than sing down to the lowest common denominator.
Yeah, you get a bigger audience that way too.
Also, you can catch more flies with honey. If you chew up and spit stuff out for people, this is it. But if there's innuendo that you finish off the joke with your own experiences, that's basically what I'm looking for. I'm not looking to give you, this is how it is. So it doesn't have to be dirty to be funny. It doesn't have to be outrageous to be funny. But it can be funny without having to sing to anything else. That's how I write in the material. I write more, if I was up there, how would I enjoy doing this?
So we're getting towards the tail end of the show. We have some, should we go to our Google stories, a couple of Google stories, and we'll see what Boris thinks of them? Speaking of funny or comedian, did you see the White House?
I did not. I've been traveling at the time, but...
did you guys see this? Trump had some company in the White House, and Kanye West was in there. And you didn't see any?
I read about it.
That guy's weird,
It was
though.
kind of interesting.
Have you ever heard him talk, like how he raps? He
Yeah.
sounds gangster, and then when he talks, he's like, "What, you don't love me?
Yeah.
Why don't you talk to me?"
He's an insecure dude.
He is, and he's got a lot of issues, man. He's got a lot of freaking issues. Christian, can you see the top tab? One of those top tabs? I can't see it from here, but there should be a Kanye West Trump or something. Push it and see what. Is that a commercial?
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
Yeah, that's the only one I have.
is that Kanye? Does that play or what?
That's
What the fuck? What?
There it
there
is.
it is. Yeah, play that.
That if you're black, you have to be Democrat. I've had conversations that basically said that welfare is the reason why a lot of black people end up being Democrats. They say, first of all,
Look at this nice.
It's a limit to amount of jobs. So the fathers lose the jobs, and they say, we'll give you more money for
So
having
Trump is
more
grandstanding,
kids
right?
in your
He's
home.
got
And then we got rid of the mental
black guy in his
health
office.
institutes in the 80s and the 90s, and the prison rates just shot up. And now you have Chirac, what people call Chirac, which is actually, our murder rate is going down by 20% every year. I just talked to the superintendent, met with Michael Sachs, that's Rom's
he
right
got
hand
tore
man.
up.
So,
He got tore up hard for
I
this.
think it's the bravery
He starts
that
he
helps
starts
you
dropping
keep
F-bombs. He
staying
starts
all
slapping the
life.
president's
They
desk.
tried to scare me to not wear this hat. My own friends, but this hat, it gives me power in a way. My dad.
The hat gives him power.
My mom separated, so I didn't have a lot of male energy in my home, and also.
Christian's
I'm married to a family that, not a lot of male energy going on. It's beautiful though, but there's times where, it's something about,
Advance that a little bit, Christian.
I love everyone, right? But the campaign, I'm with her, just didn't make me feel as a guy. We had a meeting in Chicago, and I said, you have to bring manufacturing onshore, not even shore, into the core. It's not about the borders, the core of Adidas. And Chicago is the core of Middle America. We have to make Middle America strong. So I had the
there he goes.
I had a put on this hat. I mean, this Adidas thing made me a billionaire. And I could have lost $200 million walking away from that deal. But even with that, I knew it was more important for me to take the chance of walking away from that deal.
That's pretty
than to
comedic.
have
Anyway.
no fathers.
What do you think about all that?
He's an insecure egomaniac just like Trump.
Yeah.
That's why Trump is enjoying listening.
Well, and so Trump's starting to campaign now, and so everybody got tore up for that. The president got tore up for that, for
allowing it.
trying to get black voters, and that's his way of doing it. Having this guy sit in the White House with a hat on, and
he wears that hat all the time.
And F-bombing here
He really
and there.
does.
Yeah. And then he starts getting into mental health and all kinds of stuff, and then even the black community is tearing him up. He said that guy needs help. He said that
Really?
Kanye needs help.
Well, Kanye is a passionate guy. If you give him anything, he actually believes what he's talking about. And, he's all over his message. I don't know if that sells records. It may. He just came out with a new record, which actually is pretty good. But,
well, I mean, any news is bad news or good news. If you're in the news for a guy like that, that's what they're trying to do, right? I mean, there's no bad press for.
Well, no better the press than sitting with the president, right?
But what was some of the other? What else do we have, Bob, in the news that we should talk about before we?
A horse walks into a bar.
Yeah. There's a joke. There's a
Damn.
joke for you.
There's a joke somewhere in there.
That could be a joke, or
That is a joke.
Yeah, maybe we can help you out, Boris, with some. The problem is Boris can't hear the audio. How about the definition of shit? Can you play that one?
Still audio.
America, it has been the word shit. I thought it's easy, that I know what shit
clip.
means. But it turns out I didn't know shit. I think it's the most complicated word. Like, how can it be if something is bad, it's shit? If something is really good, it's the shit. I would have never guessed that.
Well, this from the
I
sounds of it
studied
sounds
that
like
shit.
almost he's on first with one person talking.
So important,
the
the
subject,
article.
right?
Like if I give shit.
I mean, if that helps you out, you
that
can use
means
use that if you want.
That I'm telling you off.
Sweet.
But if I
Said he has highbrow stuff, man.
Yeah.
Yeah, Honestly, and I actually try. I never swear on stage. I keep the material fun and games. Truthfully, yes, there's a place and time for everything. I find my bills get paid much better working in huge corporate events where that's looked down on, and it's not necessary.
Yeah. So can you?
But that's not to say that I am not enjoying stuff, watching just like what
you're
showing me right now.
So we talked about this before, but someone wants to quit smoking, or if someone wants to try to help themselves, their psyche in some way, can you hypnotize them and help?
Oh, absolutely.
And how does that
that's
work?
one of the main things that I'm about. There's a message to what I do. Actually, if Kenya is listening to this, please. Maybe,
he's a fan. Yeah,
we can talk. I'm a fan. I love the music. I think it's amazing. There's ways to improve your livelihood, improve the way you live and deal with stuff. But I personally took what I do and the message that I relate into my life. I wrote the book. The message of the book is you can do anything. I did. Well, you're a perfect example of being on the side of it that got a chance to see it. When people said you can't, we did. They told you not possible to go to Afghanistan. You did it twice.
Right.
And while I'm talking, maybe twice is never enough.
Yeah. Well, I don't know. What do you think, Rich?
Well, there could be a three-peat or something.
Yeah. I don't know, man.
Get the band back together, Rod.
Right, exactly.
Hey,
the
man.
band is ready. The drums and guitars. We just need a singer.
I would go tomorrow, but that's a rough go. That's a year of putting that together, and
Well, it doesn't have to be way overseas. We can do several friendly installations.
Yeah. Plus, we don't have the chief. Yeah, the chief that makes everything happen. Yeah. So, anything else, you guys? Christian, we didn't really get anything about your past week, or Bob. Anything you guys want to share? Phil, how's the baby? How's the new baby coming along? Is she growing?
Yeah, she's coming.
Are you measuring her like daily?
No.
We've
already had one.
Lots of pictures.
So the second one's not a big deal.
Oh well.
Already not a big deal. He's not even born yet.
No, it's a big deal. We're not gonna fucking waste time measuring. We're living life.
When is she due?
January 12th.
January.
Yeah.
All right. Oh, close to your birthday.
Yeah, it's my birthday, December 31st.
Maybe she'll come out early.
Wife's birthday, January 9th. New baby, January 12th.
Oh, and Christmas.
Our baby now, February 12th.
That sounds like a really expensive 30 days.
Yeah.
Well. All right, Bobbit. So what about the catfish thing? What are you going to do, Bobbit? What's
just going to a fest.
Yeah. You ain't going to play any games?
I don't know if there are games.
Christian, let's go.
Oh, I guess carnival games.
How do you have 3 days off a week?
Yeah, right. When everybody else is
question.
working 70, that's what it's kind of
70 days a week.
70 hours.
Oh.
Yeah. Christian, anything else you want to add? Anything exciting that you're doing?
No. I just wanted to ask Boris, when you do like corporate events, just out of curiosity, let's say you do a corporate event for a very conservative group, do they try to like curb your message at all and just say, hey, you know?
No, not at all. Actually, the best part about what I do, I can be tagged as a motivational hypnotist, meaning there's a message to what I relate to the people. So it's actually, the format is incredibly simple. Here's a fun routine. Here's what you can learn from it. So I show people that, one, the importance of laughter in your life. You literally, people forget with all of the times that, just like you're talking, people work too much, people do too much. There's never enough money. There's complications with the families, whatever that might be. You just have to stop, enjoy the world, and laugh. Right?
Do you ever hypnotize somebody and they said something inappropriate or maybe something too private on stage?
No, actually, one of the things I don't do is have people reveal their innermost secrets.
Okay.
Because that's the main fear. I'm going to come up on stage, but boy, do I have a closet full of stuff, right? And I don't really care. People come to be entertained, not to reveal stuff.
Well, listen, I'll tell you a story where it got a little too close. Richard, you were there. We were in Kuwait, and we were in the headquarters, the brain, the brain building of the entire military.
The war room.
The war room for all over. So this building it didn't do any of the missions. This building knew where every single tank, every truck, every ship, everything that's involved in the military. This building kept track of it, and they had a
big
theater.
Screens all over the place.
It had a theater that probably sat 50, 60, 70 people with all screens in front of them, and the screens went across probably 30 feet by 15 feet in front theater, and every ship and everything they had all this shit, right?
If you hear stuff like Houston, we have a problem. That's the room that you should visualize.
Yeah, that was the room, right? So we go in there to meet the general, and we're on our way back home, and we were waiting for our flight and whatever, and the general. Comes out, he's a big black dude, and he's just what you'd expect as a general. He was a brick shit house. He's a big guy, and and we're all waiting. There's about 15 of us in the room, and we come in here, and he walks in the room. All right, where's the comedian? Or tell me a joke. Or where's the? Oh, I know that joke, and he finishes the joke. And where's the magician? And tell me do a trick. Remember what's his name? I forgot his name.
Eric.
Yeah, and he starts doing something. Oh, man, that's bullshit. You got the thing about, okay, now what do you do? The general's tearing up our whole team, right?
Yeah, good.
Yeah, because all of the military is about the challenges.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so he's tearing up everybody. And then he comes over to Boris. He said, what do you do? He said, I'm a hypnotist. Oh, that's a bunch of bullshit. That shit don't work. And I said, General, tell you what, why don't you get one of your people and bring him in here, and we'll see if Boris can hypnotize him. Okay, hey, Sergeant so-and-so is this beautiful black girl.
Yeah, they give orders, and you over there.
Yeah, and so this beautiful black girl comes in, and she was a pretty girl, and she sits down, and she was a sweet person, and she sits down, and Boris doesn't, and she went right out. Right, and it doesn't always happen that way. She goes.
Well, it does. The thing is, actually, the military is incredibly easy.
Yeah, because
they're so used to taking orders and taking them blindly. And I tell her, concentrate. That's the order that she got.
Yeah. So she goes right down, right. And so Boris, I'm gonna get this story quickly, but he says, hey, when you wake up, you're gonna be. Who's your favorite artist? Oh, Beyonce, Mama. When you wake up, you're gonna be Beyonce, and your voice is, and everybody loves you. And so she gets up and she's doing this and she's doing this and she starts and Boris gets her to sing something. And then the general's going like, holy shit.
Yeah.
And so Boris starts going like, well, tell us something, and so the general comes swooping. Okay, that's enough. Wake her ass up. Wake her. He's like, he puts the kibosh on her.
Right. This is a secret sort of military installation.
He didn't want her talking about nothing.
Maybe it was his girlfriend.
That's what I'm. That's where I was at with that. He was like, wake her ass up. She's gonna wake it, and so he got nervous quick. Remember that, Rich?
It was quite a moment.
He got nervous, and okay, that's it. That's the end of that. Okay.
Yeah. Well, the thing is, I see stuff like that every day. That's why I normally don't really reveal that I'm a hypnotist, just because all of a sudden the story shifts. Or can you make me do this? Or do you have these powers? We all have these powers. Yeah. I just happen to know how to concentrate them and doing it a little bit faster.
I think we all got a coin out of that, didn't we, from the gym?
Yeah, nice big coin.
At the end of that, yeah.
And I actually still carry that with me as a good luck charm. Literally, everywhere I go, it's in my laptop bag.
Yeah, lifetime memories of that trip, right?
So many memories.
Well, listen, Boris, before we go, tell everybody where they can find you and how can they see your shows and how can they hire you for anything, right? You do all kinds of shows for schools and companies.
I love what I do. I honestly, wherever you want me, that's where I show up. Like I said, I love to fly. So anywhere across the world, and on the web, incredibleborris.com. If you can't remember it, Google me. I'm actually credited, oddly enough, with the term Google me, literally. Oddly enough, Google hired me after they figured out that was the case. So got a chance to work for Google just for that reason.
Oh, that's neat.
IncredibleBorris.com. There's a ton of videos. You can see what I actually talk about, the different routines, but I keep creating, so you'll see a lot more.
Awesome. Richard, thank you for being us, and you have a pretty big company here in town too.
We do, yeah.
Stage Directions.
Busy time right now.
Stage Directions, so you can do anything with wires or cables or TVs or lights and all that kind of stuff, right?
We can.
Yeah. Stage Directions, is that .com or what is that?
StageDirections.com.
StageDirections.com. And I would be remiss if I didn't at least say that our hearts and prayers are go out to all the folks in Florida and hope y'all are safe out there. And that was a pretty jacked up storm. That was one of the worst I've ever seen, and we all know how that is. And so we sending hearts and prayers out there.
Yeah, stay safe, and we love you.
Yeah, that's crazy how bad that was. And also, I wanted to let you all know that we're going to be at the Texas Hill Country party, a night in the Hill Country, and that is going to. I don't have my phone in front of me, Bob.
22nd.
22nd. It's Monday the 22nd, so it's like a week from now or 10 days from now. And go to chefsroll.com, chefsroll, ROLL.com, and look up. It's free. It's free. And there's all kinds of cool beers and great foods. They have like 20 or 25 celebrity chefs from all over the country. My buddy Jeremiah Tower is going to be there. I got to tell you some stories about Jeremiah. So he's going to be there as well. And so we're taking the show there. We're going to go there and do a bunch of interviews and talk to a bunch of great chefs there, and it's going to be a great party. So go to chefsroll.com and see the details there. One last thing, Bob, it's been mailing out T-shirts left and right. So we have 3-4 winners already, right, Bob?
Yeah, 3.
There's our T-shirt there. So go online and tell us what shows that you like and why, and subscribe. Make sure you're subscribing, and you can win a T-shirt, and Bob's going to mail it right out to you, just like that. You guys got a shirt, right? Mm-hmm. Yeah. Do you like it? It feels good, right?
Yeah.
Do you feel like really like you have a superpower when you put it on?
No.
No, doesn't.
I can help you with that.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah, you help us with all of that, Boris. So, Boris, thanks a million for being with us, man. That wraps up another episode of the Recipe Podcast, the Unplugged edition of our show. We thank our sponsors again, Aceway, Dunkin' Coffee, Texas Beef Council, the Escoffier School of Culinary Arts, and the American Culinary Federation. You guys are great, and thank you for supporting us. And the Bob at Phil Phoenix, Fly Trap, and Jay, thank you all for pushing all the buttons and making things happen. So everybody, remember, go subscribe and tell our mother, brother, or friend to listen to our show. Go ahead and leave us a message or leave us a comment or a question, and you can win a T-shirt, and Bob will put a little note in there and send it out to you. So thank you all for listening. Remember, you're special, you're great. Get off your ass and do something today. See you next time. Today's show brought to you by Dunkin' Coffee. Mills Dunkin' is a great guy who will fix, grind, and make the perfect custom blend of coffee for you. He has a full service of coffee and teas for hotels, clubs, and restaurants. Customer service is also their best attribute. Just ask me, because that's why we love them. Go out to their website, dunkincoffee.com, and try a blend today. That's DUNCAN, dunkincoffee.com. Escoffier School of Culinary Arts. Are you interested in fulfilling a career in culinary arts or pastry arts? Then you need an educational partner that can help you reach the next level. Escoffier School of Culinary Arts can help you excel in the kitchen and beyond with a balanced curriculum that focuses on the latest culinary skills and methods as well as business and operations. They also offer a flexible 100% online format perfect for working professionals, world-renowned reputation, personalized student support, professional chef instructors, lifetime career assistance, and federal grants and financial aid available for those who qualify. Contact the folks at Escoffier to learn more at escoffier.edu. That's ESCOFFIER.edu. American Culinary Federation. I've been a member of the American Culinary Federation for 35 years. My dad was a chef, and he got me in the American Culinary Federation, the ACF, when I was 18 years old. I've been blessed to travel the world representing the United States of America in the World Culinary Olympics. If you're not a member of the ACF, make sure you join today. They have so many benefits and education, online services, great magazines, great websites, and several conventions throughout the year. Make sure you become a member today at the American Culinary Federation. That's acfchefs.org. The Texas Beef Council is a nonprofit organization representing 130,000 beef farmers and ranchers across the state. Their goal is to increase beef demand through research, education, and promotion, utilizing the beef-loving Texans consumer brand, connecting consumers to the beef they love and the farmers and ranchers who raise it. The Texas Beef Council supports chefs and food service professionals across the state of Texas, whether it's taking chefs on a pasture-to-plate tour across Texas or supporting the future of food service industry through the Texas ProStart High School Culinary Program. The Texas Beef Council plays a pivotal role in the Texas food service community. Aceway Incorporated is a janitorial maintenance company in the Houston area. The owner, Ricardo Acevedo, is such a great guy. Ricardo and his team will come in and help you clean out your kitchens, front and back of the house, office buildings, you name it, they'll clean it with amazing attention to details. Aceway takes great care of your facility and they also have exceptional customer service, and you all know how much that's important to me. So go to, actually you can dial up their number, 281-879-9899, and you will get Ricardo firsthand. So thank you so much for watching today's show. See you next time.